Activate party mode.
A-firm, party mode engaged.
Welcome to Party Mode, the F1 podcast with no limits. I'm Jethro Bovingdon, and I'm joined by my good friends Matthew Collins and Charlie Curtis. And post Zandvoort, we live in a new reality where basically in his third year, it looks like Oscar Piastri is going to be world champion. As a Lando fan, it hurts me a little bit, but you can't knock it. He did it, boys. This could be the crucial round.
It was huge. He also took pole, won, and had fastest lap. He did everything he needed to do, and then some.
And led every lap of the race. First time ever doing all three. And set a lap record in the qualifying. So he holds the title of qualifying time there.
Yeah, he nailed it. It's scary. It was a seismic weekend for me as well. Big, significant weekend because Rocco, my eldest, looked after Ellie, my youngest, which meant and put her to bed for the first time ever. Which
no
meant
way.
Actually, yeah. So me and Laura actually got to go out on a Saturday at like 5 p.m. and not get back till like 1 a.m. And it was like, this is our new reality. This is great. This could be something we do. Yeah, I feel a new sense of freedom, which was fun. Which was really fun. Yeah,
I feel the opposite. We went to a barbecue hang yesterday, and I'm just really starting to realize how like you're so excited you're going to go to a barbecue on the long weekend with your family and your little baby and see your friends, and you don't have more than a 30-second conversation with anyone all day.
Yeah.
I enjoy staying at home where everything's safe. She can run around, she can get into whatever she wants, and I can then maybe like be on my phone or text someone or have a conversation with my wife. But like, and we're doing it again today. We're going to some friends' barbecue, little pool party later, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to hang out with my daughter somewhere else is what I'm going to do, which is fine. It's just different. And it's
just a mindset.
You're not getting away from
change, isn't it? Yeah, so I mean, I shouldn't complain because Ellie's great. We're pretty lucky, but our childcare situation in the UK sucks. Like Laura's parents are great when we're in the States and if they come over, but my mum's just on the cusp of being a little bit too old to do it. And she's, it's tricky. So Rocco and his girlfriend is like a bit of a game changer. The fact that they would step in and it worked. And it was cool. Although my powers have faded terribly because I don't think I had that much to drink. But being a responsible adult, I still managed to vomit when I got home from my first night out with Laura for some time. So that was pretty sweet. Not my finest moment. I just feel like big, like your stomach feels bloated. And I was like, oh man, I feel awful. I was lying in bed. I was like, I've just got to get this over with. So I quietly slinked off to the bathroom. And I felt vaguely ashamed, but also it made me feel pretty good. I had to get up at like 7 a.m. with Ellie and I was completely fine. So maybe it wasn't such
that's the good thing about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe now I can go out a bit more. If Rocco will step up, then maybe my prowess will improve to slightly less pathetic levels.
I feel like Charlie and Erica have also gotten to that point. You have two pretty spunky mothers. Both of your mothers are pretty in there.
Yep.
We're not the case.
Yeah. Either of our moms are great. I mean, they take them for a week in the summer. My mom took them to Hawaii for a week. She's fine. They are very capable and fairly close. My mom's only a couple hours away and my mother-in-law's in San Francisco. So very close, easy. Both boys were at sleepovers on Saturday. So we had just a night out. No one threw up. I'll tell you that. But
is it even a concert?
It wasn't.
I'm too old. I mean, even like when the kids are gone, Erica and I are always like coming up with these grand plans. We're going to do all these things. And like when it comes down to it, we just want to sit there and quiet. No one's asking for anything. No one's making a mess anywhere. You just sit. So
I know, just enjoy. Yeah, I'm normally like that. I don't know what it was. I guess it was just a long time to be out and maybe I just got a bit carried away, but it was fun. It was fun regardless. So I will just have to be a bit wiser as I've got older. I need to adapt. I'm like Lewis Hamilton. My expectations have to dip as I.
They have to dip, but if you can't have everything. You got one son that's old enough to watch your daughter. Well, that's going to come at a price, and you just can't. Can't go as hard as you used to.
Okay, so let's talk the race. It was a hugely significant weekend that started off looking like just pure joy for Lando, didn't it? Every practice session, he was the fastest. Oscar couldn't quite get there. And then just the way he does it, got to qualifying, and it all just turned around by 12 100ths of a second.
Yep.
Crazy. Yeah. I missed all of qualifying because I started qualifying. I was 5 minutes into qualifying, and I didn't realize that my daughter had grabbed the Apple TV remote. And I guess whatever she pressed fast forwarded to almost the exact same time in Q3, which I didn't realize. I thought it was Q1, and I'm watching it. And 2 minutes later, after I started watching qualifying was over, and I thought Q1 was over. And I was like, oh my God, I just watched the end of Q3. And I was like, I can't go back and watch it now. It's all over for me. So you guys tell me what happened in qualifying, because I don't.
Well, it was incredible. It was like a McLaren domination, wasn't it? Max actually got within 2.5, 3 tenths in the end, which was pretty impressive, because at one point it looked like McLaren were going to be 8 or 9 tenths ahead of everyone. But yeah, Piastri just did what he does, which is chip and chip and chip away at it. And even when it looks like he's on the back foot, he finds a way. And this time that I think the wind was blamed, wasn't it, for the down the back straight?
Yeah.
Because I think actually the data said it that Lando was ahead up until like the last 2 corners, and once you're into that last 2 corners, you're flat out, aren't you? So it was literally a wind thing. But Oscar did it, and you sort of felt at that point it was weekend over already for Lando, because you just have absolute confidence that he'll convert every pole position that he gets. It's just the same story.
Yeah. The other highlight from qualifying was Hadjar. From the whole weekend, but it started in qualifying.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Getting P4, right behind Max. Like, he just is coming alive. And then he finally got a podium in the race, but it started in qualifying, just sticking at P4. Kind of out of nowhere. It's fun to watch.
He's just doing such a great job. And it was Tsunoda got dumped out basically by Lawson getting into the top 10 at the last minute. So it was he wasn't far off, but again, just not close enough. Same for Antonelli. Just those two cannot get a break. Even when they get closer to their teammates, there's too many cars in between them. And that's the problem. If you look at it pure from time, a couple of tenths of, even a few years ago, would have been like, okay, he's in within a couple of tenths of Max or a couple of tenths of Russell or whatever. But now that could be 8 cars between you if you're 2 tenths apart. So yeah, amazing job. The Aston Martins, which had looked really quick, sort of disappeared, didn't they? Stroll had his second crash of the weekend and in his very first lap in qualifying. Alonso's pace sort of disappeared in Q3. But yeah, it just felt like, to me, watching felt like, okay, Oscar's going to win this race now. And but Hadjar was a real surprise, and I don't think anyone would have bet on him being in that position at the end of the race. Really, you think it was like, it's one of those amazing laps.
You're going to go down to 7th or 8th. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, great job.
I'm sure really, he thought that too. I don't think he probably had the confidence in it. But I think Alonso, I don't know if it was before or after the race, he said if Max was in the V-Carb, he'd be fighting for the championship right now. So that's what Alonso thinks. So everyone, I guess, on the grid is thinking that V-Carb is by far a better car than the Red Bull, which is crazy that your second team's car is actually better.
Do you think I'm not sure I think it's easier. I don't think its ceiling is as high as the Red Bull. I think the Red Bull has the chance to be quicker. It's just much, much harder to extract from it because, yeah, the V-Carb, it's up and down. It's, or what do they call it? Cash app flipping. I don't even know what you call it now. But it is a really good car and it looks quite benign and easy to handle. But I feel like the Red Bull can be bloody quick in Max's hands at least. So, yeah, I don't know. But we're going to find out because it feels like he's going to get that move, doesn't it, to Red Bull? Hadjar demoted to the main squad.
Yeah.
It's a
Just let him
demotion
finish.
to-
Give him the rest of the season, please. Just give the poor guy a chance.
Yeah.
Don't put him in right now.
Well, they did say that they're like, it doesn't make, because everyone's putting pressure on them. Who's the second seat? And Red Bull came out saying, they're like, there is no rush to make this choice. Like, we will make this at the end of the season. We don't need to make this decision now. And in the post-race conference, they did talk with like Hadjar and Max. They were asking them about potentially being teammates, and they both sarcastically said, oh yeah, it's be horrible. I'd hate to race alongside of them. But they were just like obviously having fun. But
it seems, unless something incredible happens, it seems certain, doesn't it? They're not going to stick with Yuki, I don't think. I don't think they think he's a disaster, but he's every little incremental step he gets closer, it never quite gets there, does it? It's just not quite enough every time. Poor guy. Where's Yuki going to end up? Is he going to be off the grid? It seems like he might be.
Seems like he might be.
Be sad.
I mean, he can't go back, right? It just seems unlikely that he would be wanting to go back to a team. Like, he got promoted up to this Red Bull, and then now you didn't quite make it, so let's bring you back down to our second team. It just doesn't seem like the move.
But maybe he goes to as a reserve driver to Aston Martin, and then maybe Stroll just wants to do one more year, and then he takes over that they're Honda.
Yeah, maybe.
That'd be the smarter bet. Just take a year off like everyone else seems to do and come back.
And you can. I mean, it feels like a career killer, doesn't it? But look at Albon. He had a year off, basically. Then he went to Williams, and it's changed around so much for him. He's such a well-regarded driver. He's doing so well. So it can be done. I don't know. I worry about him, though. I just feel like there's no real room for him. But yeah, like you say, Aston Martin reserve driver, maybe. I don't think there's a huge incentive for Racing Bulls to get him back, because they sort of know what they're going to get with him. But if they can promote someone for, Lindblad, who's got potential, they might see greater potential. There's no real advantage for them unless they think Lawson's just not quite there. And if they're losing Hadjar and they think Sonoda could be as good as Hadjar in that car, then maybe that's what happens. But for him, I don't think he should do it. Doesn't seem right.
No.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem good. Okay, so we had the race. The start was sort of as you expect, wasn't it? Lando drops a place. Max basically doesn't care, nothing to lose, nearly crashes, but actually manages to nearly spin the car and overtake Norris all at the same time.
All at the same time. That was insane.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That was completely insane.
I mean, that's just taking the piss a little bit, isn't it? It's like, I was like, oh, he's going to drop the car. Like, he was well out of shape.
He had, going into that first banked turn, where everyone is crashing.
And that's impossible. On the sim, in that spot, if you lose out, you're done. Like, for him to have recovered that, it makes it so much more impressive.
And made the pass.
And made the pass.
That's the thing.
Unbelievable.
He gets it sideways, and I was like, oh, he's going to spin. Then he doesn't spin, and then I'm like, well, he must have lost so much momentum that like 3 cars will overtake him. And then he passes Norris literally half a second after he corrected the car from spinning out. It was very impressive. It was, I bet he enjoyed that one. I bet he enjoyed that one a lot.
Yeah.
Also, one thing when the race started, because I didn't know why Ollie Bierman was in the pit lane to start, the cover didn't go over the car. I guess 2 hours after qualifying, the Parc Fermé cover is supposed to cover the car to not show the work done, and the cover wasn't over the car, which is why he started in the pit lane, which is interesting. I don't think I've heard that one before. So, but he was like 19th, so like it wasn't a big deal.
Say, yeah.
But then also no one's talking about what he did. He started the pit lane and he finished
sixth.
Sixth. Crazy. That's like maybe the best anyone did in the race, if you think about like how you came along.
Yeah.
But the storyline is just Isack. I always thought it was Isaac, so I pronounced everything wrong, but everyone calls him Isack.
Isack?
Yeah.
No way.
Isack, yeah.
I'm sticking with Isaac.
The interviewer said but But the interviewer, when they were doing the post-race interviews, called him that, and I was like, this guy got it wrong, just like me. And then
Isack.
everyone else after that, I started to notice them because they always call him Hadjar, but they never really say his first name, and then they started to say it. And maybe it's new. Maybe he just had to correct everyone and be like, guys, just so you know, it's Isack, not.
I'll check in with my French colleagues and find out what they would say. I guess that's all we can do. I think it's an Arabic name, but maybe in France, that's just the pronunciation because he grew up in France. I don't know. Let's find out. We can decode Isack Hadjar's. But yeah, he's up. Behrman's a weird one, isn't he? Because when he's good, he's unbelievably good, but he qualifies way too often in 19th or 20th. He'll make a weird mistake in qualify, and then he gets in the race and he absolutely flies. So he's a really hard driver to assess because his racecraft and his highest height seems super good, but then there can be race weekends where he completely disappears and you're like, where's he at? Is he? And everyone's saying, oh well, he's ready to take over Hamilton's seat at Ferrari, but he seems very inconsistent in qualifying at the very least. So
yeah, he either has an incredible weekend and an incredible race, or he's, like you said, just gone, disappeared, and doesn't do anything. There's kind of no middle consistency in there at all. But yeah, I mean, 19th to 6th is not too bad for a Haas.
He did good. He did do good. And I think we should give a little shout out to the track because are they saying that was the last Zandvoort for a little while and maybe it will go into a rotation at some point. But it's such a cool track to watch.
It's really cool.
It's not on the schedule next year?
No, I believe not.
That's so sad.
And we kind of talked about this last week about how it's supposed to be this hard track to pass on and to make moves and blah, blah, blah. And there was so much action on it. I mean, the whole race, there was so much action going around that track. It was not boring at all. I mean, Max making that move, like people find a way to make a move when they need to or when they can. So I loved it.
And the cars, because it is a bit tighter and more old school in terms of runoff and everything, that means mistakes are punished, which I think is great in any racetrack. But also the cars look fast. Like when you just watch them on the TV, they look visibly, you're like, holy shit, these things are absolutely moving, which you don't always get on some of the modern tracks. So yeah, I think it's just it's a cool race and they should keep it as much as they can. To be fair, Lando did a mega move on Max. That overtake was actually, I was applauding that one. I was like, wow, Lando maybe there's going to be something good here because he dropped back, hadn't he? 4.5 seconds, I think Max was behind Oscar at this stage in the early running. And then Lando found a way past really, really impressively, I thought. And then the chase was on, but the chase would get to like 1.3, 1.4 seconds and then stop. It just seemed impossible that he could actually chase him. And Piastri, like 3 safety cars, wasn't it? I think three restarts. And it was just never
every time.
Never in doubt. Never in doubt.
Nope. No.
He talked about that because he's often done he's waited till the end to kind of get it going. And then this one, he started right off the bat. And he was like, yeah, I just wanted to throw them off a little bit because they're used to me starting it a little bit later. And smart, you got to keep them on their toes. And it worked perfectly.
It worked. Yep.
And it wasn't
even the start of the race. He was pretty just calm. Like there was so much going on. He had to cut off Lando and then Max come around the outside and he just held his line and stayed calm and came out of it fine. He doesn't panic.
And it wasn't. Yeah, and it wasn't just surprise. Like even with the safety car, yes, he did a great time to get away. Like a really element of surprise was there. But then he just set 3 fastest laps in a row. Every time there was a restart, it would go purple, fastest lap, and you're like, this guy's got it in hand. When he needs to unleash a bit of speed, he can just do it, and it must be quite demoralizing for Lando. I think it's. Do you think this will cut him loose? He'll just stop stressing about it and drive? Or do you think this is him mentally destroyed for the next half season?
He didn't really blow it, right? So I think that's good. It was kind of bad luck, that's really all there is to it. And so I think he'll still, but man, one more disappointment, I think that'll send him in a bad spiral.
Yeah.
Because not only did he not win, which he needed to do to close that gap, but he got 0 points and Oscar won. So it's like that's the worst case scenario. So I think he's got one more bad one, I would say, left before it's just chaos.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but I kind of hope that Oscar does have a DNF in the next few races. I love him. I want him to do it, but I kind of just want that to get a little closer again. It's kind of sad that it's not.
Yeah. 34 points now, which is, I mean, it's not the end of the world. There's 9 races and 2 or 3 sprints left. So there's points available. But the problem is if Oscar, Zandvoort last year, Oscar was nowhere near Lando. So it was one of his bad bogey type tracks. This year, Lando turns up. He's way quicker than, or not way quicker, but he always had a couple of tenth and a half over Piastri every practice session, comes to quali. Piastri puts it on pole. Easily leads the race. It's, there was no way Lando was coming past him, and then Lando has bad luck. But it's like all these things just keep piling up on top of him. And I'm just like, oh man, it feels like Lando needs to win like 5 in a row and then hope that Max gets involved and Piastri doesn't come second in every race. But Piastri can be so relaxed now.
And outside of a wreck or a DNF, Piastri's second or third at worst. He's not having a race where he's down in 11th for whatever reason. And so it's like, yeah, you have to assume if you want to win the championship that the guy you're going against is going to get at worst third every time. And that's a pretty tough uphill battle.
And he's very good at keeping himself out of flashpoints. Oscar, he never feels like he's going to get sucked into someone's crash, or he's just calm and methodical the whole way. It's imagine, it's just, I would never have bet it on it.
Even when Lando was kind of closing that gap, you never really thought that he was going to close it enough to make a move. Because every time, like you said, it got to like just over a second, and then Oscar would pull out a little bit more and extend that lead, but it just felt like he was never really under any threat. He was just managing his race.
Yeah. And he must have, I'm sure he must have been bloody happy when he saw Lando blow up, mustn't he? He must have been giggling in his helmet like, oh yeah, this is it. What a blow. He went there, like I say, a bogey track for him last year, and he walks away full points, fastest lap, P1 in quali, and Lando retires. And it's like, he must be such a happy boy.
That's a great way to come back from the summer break.
Unbelievable. Okay, well, what about
Ferrari?
Should we talk Ferrari? My God.
Boy.
Oh my God.
It feels like a broken record with Ferrari, doesn't it? But it's like, this race was like their whole season in microcosm, like moments of hope, then complete underperformance, then some sort of strategy confusion, then it just all goes completely wrong. It's like everything that could go, they're just, the chaos theory is Ferrari, isn't it? Like everything happens to them.
Yeah, just double DNF. I mean, the only upside was that I think Lewis and Charles were 600ths off from each other. They were so close in quality. And I'm like, all right, at least they're right there. They're close. Maybe they'll do something. And they looked okay in the race, but yeah, then Lewis puts it in the wall on his own, hits the paint, and then Antonelli just took out Charles.
Pinballs him. Yeah. The Lewis one was weird. You don't see him make many errors like that, and he just, I mean, it's easy to say sitting and watching, but basically the car went sideways. He overcorrected. That took him offline, and then he just understeered into the barrier. And it's like, oh man, that felt like it could have happened to Antonelli or someone. It didn't feel like a Hamilton crash. It was bad.
It looked a little sloppy.
No one around him.
Yeah, and it was like slippery conditions, like, which is his thing normally. So you expect him. There was this constant promise of rain, which nearly came, wasn't there? Which was a bit annoying.
Yeah, I was happy because they said it's going to come in 9 laps for about 9 or 10 laps. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. We get both ends of it. We get switching on to inners and then switching back onto slicks. Like, great. And it never really came. which was a kind of a bummer for me. But there was plenty of action already. But I did want to see a little bit of weather.
Yeah, it was a shame. So I guess the other talking points in the race, there's Antonelli, obviously. I thought Leclerc's overtake on Russell was mega. I loved that, and I was extremely glad that he didn't get a penalty for it, because it was
crazy.
No, he didn't.
That was great, and that was like, if you are going to start handing out penalties for this, we might as well all go home. Like, they're racing hard. There's going to be some contacts sometimes. It doesn't mean someone's necessarily driving into someone else. Leclerc had to go off the track slightly because Russell closed it. Like, it felt such a 50-50. And it was like, that was another one. I was like clapping. I was like, oh my God, what a move. It was so good.
And like you said, it seemed 50-50. Like, they both could have done something different to avoid that, but they didn't. And there was not enough room. George didn't leave enough room. And so, Charles had to go off track a little bit. Then they connected, but it was awesome. Yeah. They can't start doing penalties for those moves.
And he was lucky he was still behind right after he came back on the track. So it wasn't, because if it was slightly 2 inches difference, he would have gaining an advantage. Fine.
But I think it's another good case for gravel traps, because I think if that gravel trap wasn't there on the inside, Leclerc might have been tempted to go more off track and then claim that he was forced off and try and get a pen. But as it was, he was like, I can go off only to this defined limit, and then I have to get back. And it makes it feel just more natural, I think. And it's another really good argument for natural track limits, because it just created a really cool moment. And Leclerc, as usual, drove really, really well. And it's just not happening for Kimi, is it? It's sort of sad, and I don't know what to say about it.
Well, if we keep on Leclerc for a second, still we have the most iconic photo of F1 this season. Like, that photo, I think it was this guy Jimmy Price. He's on Instagram. He's an amazing F1 photographer, and he took it, and it's incredible. Like, he looks so good. He's upset, but he looks so good. It should be his profile photo on all social media. It was the best photo I've ever seen of Charles.
Yeah, it was worth the DNF for that, basically, wasn't it? He's a dude. I like him. He's just super fast, and he deserves a good car. I don't know if he'll ever get one. I wonder if he'll look back at his career and think, I should have left Ferrari.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yep. Who knows? Maybe there's a chance next year, but they never feel like they're quite going to get there, do they?
And it feels sad over there. Like, it just feels like, I don't know, depressing.
It
more
does.
Than any other team.
There should be some joy and passion in Ferrari, and it just feels like deflation, just mildly depressed, doesn't it? There's no Monza will be cool. Okay, there's going to be hundreds of thousands of people there. They normally go there, but if that deflating feeling follows them even to Monza next weekend, I mean, it's like, oh man, it's painful to watch.
Because it's like, the first salon I worked at was an Italian-owned salon, and like, just coming up to the World Cup and how they wore an Italian shirt every single day, and it was all that mattered, and it was like no other team was ever going to win, and then they'd lose, and then they'd be so devastated. So I just think about that with the Italian fans in Ferrari. It's like, just got to be this sadness in all of Italy right now. Just like nothing
national.
There's fury. Like, it's like someone might get assassinated because they're so angry of what's happening.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. It's just bad. And it's not even gloriously bad. You know, they're not trying something amazing, and then they have like one race where they win and then one race where they're 15th. They're just like, they're always under deliver, literally always. Even when it looks like the car's good, you know, they always find a way to under deliver. It's fairly depressing, I have to say, but maybe things will look up. I hope so. Lewis was a bit closer, but even when he's feeling good with the car, he's still not quite there, is he, with Leclerc? So I don't know. That fairy tale is looking less and less likely, isn't it? And then Kimi is the other talking point, I think, isn't he? Mercedes defend him to the hilt, but it also, even that gets to the point where you're like, you need to just stop talking about him and defend, because it feels almost like some sort of pity defending type thing. It's a really tough balance to strike, but it feels, if you just stop talking about it, it might be better, and just let him work on him behind the scenes, you know?
I need part 2 of the documentary after the season. Like we had the first one, and now like show what has happened behind the scenes after his first year in. That would be, I want to watch that one.
Yeah.
And it's crazy too, because he started off so good. Like the beginning of the season for him was amazing. And he was living up to all the hype, and it seemed like, oh yeah, of course they made a docu-series about him. Like he's crushing it. And he's so young, and now it's like not.
And it's hard to
the same
reset,
guy.
isn't it? I think it's hard to reboot completely. It's different if it's like round to round, it's a bit, mixed up. But when it's like he's getting beaten every single time, and then there's like 7 cars in between him and Russell, and the races aren't going his way, and then he makes a silly mistake and crashes into Leclerc, and you're just like, oh man, he needed a longer summer break. Basically, he needs the end of the season to come quick, doesn't he? No mistakes, just do a few solid drives, and then get out and try and do a hard reset for these new regs, because it's it's not looking good for him.
But maybe it's also hard. You're like a young rookie. You just had your first summer break, so it's the first time he's gone into a break where he's a celebrity and he's wealthy. So maybe the kid just raged and had the greatest time he's ever had the last month, and is coming back not 100%. Like, that seems likely.
Do you think though he just doesn't seem the type? Maybe we're wrong. Maybe like he's out there,
I don't know,
having a great time.
I was a good Christian kid all through high school, and then I went to university, and shit got real fast. And I was a nice kid. I was a good kid.
Did you look as angelic as Kimmy?
I looked like I didn't have a beard, and I had a baby face. I did not.
And less tattoos, I guess.
Like a chubby, angelic little boy.
Yeah, you're chubby as well.
Not chubby, because I was always an athlete, but like I was like I didn't have abs, but I wasn't chubby, but I was like I had shape all around my body.
You're just full.
You're just full.
Well covered, my mum would say.
Couple donuts. Yeah.
That's what my mum says. No, he's not fat. He's just well covered. Like, yeah, sure.
Oh, well covered, insulated.
I like that.
It's important. It's
real cold where I grew up. Yeah, we got to keep ourselves warm.
You need it. You absolutely need it. Yeah, maybe that's the case. I'd like to think that. Maybe we'll get some great pulp on Kimi Antonelli's summer break at some point. But he needs something. So yeah, I mean, only other thing in the race was the Sainz versus Lawson, which was a bit of a non-event, but the penalty is ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
The penalty is ridiculous. And the stewards wouldn't even see him. And the stewards have always said, like, anyone can come to us. Come to us. We'll have a conversation. They wouldn't even let him talk to them. And he was really pissed about that after the race, and all the interviews he talked about that.
And his radio message was like, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life, or something like that. Stupidest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Well, it was.
And I get it. They have rules. Like if you're on the outside, you have to be, but it just shows that you can't just have black and white rules for stuff like that, because you could see what happened, and whatever happened, it was not Sainz's fault. Lawson had a little mistake, and Sainz was unfortunate that he happened to be there. And I don't think Lawson should probably have got a penalty, but Sainz getting one is just the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. It was stupid. And why? What, their race was ruined already. Like, it's had its natural consequences. Why give someone a penalty? It's just completely pointless.
It's the Ferrari curse. It follows you everywhere.
You think?
Even when you don't drive for them. Once you go to Ferrari, it's over forever. It's just done.
Probably true. It's probably true. I'm just trying to think.
It's looking that
Ferrari way to go on to great things, and there aren't many people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh man, poor Ferrari. So basically, the story of the race is Oscar is looking more and more like the world champion. Hadjar is looking more and more like he will be demoted to Red Bull due to his great driving. And yeah, we just got to hope that Monza. I wouldn't wish
it's always good
on someone, but you want Lando to have a good race. We need it to carry on, don't we? Because McLaren are potentially going to win every race from here on in. So we need some intrigue at the front, and it would be great if Lando could get a 25 points and Oscar has a bit of a nightmare weekend. Doesn't seem likely. The guy is literally a robot.
does not seem like
that first turn in Monza is just like a death trap. It's just like
That's
it
true.
changes everything. It's like, oh my god,
it
love
is
it
true.
so much.
Anyone, their race could be over in turn one.
Yeah,
like anyone.
100%.
Doesn't matter where you
But
are.
Oscar's got the force field, I tell you. It's like he
Yeah.
never seems to get himself in those situations. He'll probably put it on pole and then have a better start, and then Lando will be caught up with 3 other cars. And
He
that's the
doesn't
way
get
it
himself
goes.
in those spots. You're right. And maybe he's more patient. Like he's like, I don't need to ruin my race 1 second in. I'll just let it sort out and I'll deal with it later. But he doesn't seem to get in those spots, those tricky situations.
But you know what it's like when things are going your way, and it's like one good thing leads to another good thing, and you get in this groove, don't you, where you're just on the bubble and just going and going and going. And I think he's in that sweet spot, isn't he?
Yeah.
I hope to see Lando recover, but I think it's going to be tough, extremely tough. So yeah, Monza to look forward to. How do we do P10? Matt, you were so close with P10. Did
I almost
Tsunoda
got
actually
everything.
finish P10 on the road?
He finished
On the road,
P10,
didn't he?
and I picked Oscar, so I technically almost. I did at the close of the race, have a perfect record, but the penalty didn't allow me to have that.
Yeah.
So pissed when Antonelli got that penalty. I was like, "Fuck, come on!"
You've done incredibly well with P10 this year. The 1 year that we're not putting any money on it, and you've done it twice. Should have been 3 times this race. So you've done a good job. Become the ultimate predictor.
Well, I didn't get it right, so
Mystic Matt, close.
Yeah,
close.
But betting Oscar as the winner every time is pretty easy. So we should probably do. Should we do P10 for Monza and then do Pulp? Or do you want to do Pulp first?
Doesn't matter.
Let's do Pulp first.
Okay. All right. So we have all this rumors of Horner moving to Cadillac. It's interesting because the CEO came out and said, Horner's not joining. But then it's also hilarious because like 2 days before they announced Checo and Bottas, he came out and said, don't believe all the rumors. And the rumors were that they were going to join. Wait till you hear it from our mouth. So it's like they just want to be the ones that say it and to shut up until we say it. So it's like, yeah, you shut down the rumors, but then what? He's just going to sign in 5 days. So it's like, doesn't look like it, but then it also could happen. So who knows?
I will say that it seems like so many people get fired for some sort of sexual misconduct at work or inappropriate workplace, this, that, or the other in American companies. That because Cadillac is American, like that does seem like a big stopping point.
Yeah, for sure.
Clearly the FIA didn't really, they kind of let it disappear and whatever happened, but it just seems like that would be a huge sticking point for Cadillac, regardless of what did or didn't happen, just like they don't want that. Like if that was the CEO, they'd fire him. So I think that would be a sticking point, but who knows?
You're right. And I think that you're right. I think that for that reason, I could not like, they want to bring the American fans in, and that's not a way to do it by bringing Horner in.
Well, it sounds like Americans love a bit of sexual misconduct, so maybe it will bring the fans in. Their whole nation of sexual deviants. It sounds like according to Charlie.
There are a lot of shitty people in America, but there's no one shittier than a Polish CEO right now. Not to do with Formula One. Did you guys see what happened at the US Open?
Yes.
So no, I didn't see this.
There's
the
like
US
at the
Open
front
has had nothing but drama, hasn't it? Like
okay.
I love tennis, but I've been really busy and haven't kept up with this. And every day, Laura's like, "Have you seen what happened at the US Open this time? 2 players having a fight, or this or that." So tell me about the Polish CEO.
So like it's after, and like like the kind of first place that the tennis players could like reach up to. One of the tennis players gives this like I'm gonna say 9-year-old kid, maybe 10 years old, a hat
from his head.
He gives
his like tennis hat.
His tennis hat. This grown man, our age, maybe older, grabs the hat out of the kid's hand and gives it to his kid. Or I think it was his kid and his wife. Puts it in a bag. So the internet was like, think of the worst person in your life. This guy is worse than this guy. This is the worst piece of shit. So it comes out he's a CEO in Poland of a Polish company. I saw last night he released a statement, completely unapologetic, and just saying, yeah, this is the world we live in. If you want something, you got to grab it.
And does he live in the US, or he was just a tourist?
I'm assuming.
I don't think so.
Maybe probably a tourist, I'm assuming.
Wow. That's incredible. He might get banned.
I don't know how they do it in Poland. He's probably maybe going to keep his job. I don't know.
Make it a race.
Don't know how it works. Yes.
Well, he sounds like he'd be a good fit to replace Helmut Marko when he finally goes, wouldn't he? So
yeah,
it'd probably be
Helmut Marko would do something like that for sure. Yeah.
He would then push the kid off the edge of off the stands. Yeah. Oh no.
Well, in kinder news, we have, the driver that in the past has been looked at as the asshole in the paddock, is Max Verstappen, was the first person to reach out to Checo to congratulate him on his new role. So that was nice. I think it still keeps coming out that Max is one of the nicest people on the grid.
And he was the first guy to get up to Hadjar after the race. Congratulate him.
He was. I did see Lewis Hamilton tweeted maybe back at Hadjar as well when he did his podium, and he just put legend as a comment, which is pretty nice as well, because Hadjar grew up like idolizing Hamilton, so that's pretty cool.
Did you see he broke his trophy?
Yeah, he broke his trophy.
I mean, it seems like this is the easiest thing in the world now, doesn't it? Like, who are these people who are commissioned to make these F1 trophies?
Like a porcelain trophy? Like maybe not.
Where are they going to? Like, everyone breaks their trophy constantly. The only ones, ironically, that didn't break were the Lego ones that Hulkenberg got when, know, but they're constantly being broken. It seems like maybe they need to spend a little bit more money on these trophies.
But I saw something where they're like, there is an extra one made and Red Bull is trying to get it. And I was like, in a way, I was like, they're trying to get it. What do you mean? What else are you going to do with this trophy? Like, no, we broke it. Give us the other one. Like, it was that was a weird thing that we're trying to get it.
Bit of super glue.
But also, if you could you make like a 3D printed plastic version that they all just get there, they get to do it, and once it's all over, you get the real one. Like, we're not going to tell the difference.
You would think there would be some way to prevent drivers from constantly breaking their trophies, but there doesn't appear to be. It's weird.
Doesn't seem like there is. No other option.
We also have Ferrari is starting off Monza in a deficit. Lewis is getting a 5-place grid penalty going into Monza. So he didn't slow down over 2 yellow flags in the formation lap. But apparently from what I've seen on the internet is he's actually quite lucky to get that penalty. That normally for what happens is a 10-place grid penalty. So he kind of and should get penalty points against his drivers. Penalty points. So he technically is lucky for what he's getting.
I don't think he feels lucky.
No.
He's not feeling like a lucky boy at the moment. Yeah, just another night. It's a bit of a bummer actually, because he was, I'm sure he came back from the summer holidays thinking I've had a reset. I'm actually pretty close to Leclerc in qualifying and stuff, and then it just all goes wrong, and he's back. First race crashes on his own accord. Second race, he's going to start 5 places back, which is realistically going to be 10th, 12th, 13th, somewhere in that order, in front of the home crowd. So bad times for Hamilton. He just must be waiting for 26.
Yeah. Finally, the last thing we have is, I don't know if you guys noticed after the race, any of the interviews, all the drivers were a little bit sweaty, added a glow. They were all so tan after the summer break. Everyone looked incredible, like so golden. And then with that little bit of sweat on them, like I've never seen any of the drivers look better. It was the most I've ever noticed it.
A lot of time on the yachts.
A lot of time. Everyone's got a yacht. That's all they do. Yachts. Just
a yacht.
Why not?
Sardinia seemed to be the hot spot. Everyone was in Sardinia this year on a yacht. Yeah, they live the life, don't they? They really do live the life. It's a lot of pressure, and it's a lot of hard work to get there. But if you can maintain, it's a pretty bloody good way to earn some cash.
Yeah,
I would do it.
I'd give it a try.
You know what? I do just wish, like, I'm watching the Dallas Cowboys documentary, and like I'm at this scene now where like they had like this place they called it the White House, and a couple of the players got a house right near the track. And like this was like a long time ago, so it was when this shit used to happen, where like the players would just leave practice and go, and there would be like 10 girls in the house waiting for them, and like they did all this insane shit. Like it's like what happened in sports in the 90s. Was F1 like that, like in the 90s, where like people doing really crazy shit, or has it always just been a little bit more civilized?
I don't honestly know. Part of the reason for that is Bernie Ecclestone, when he was in charge, was really good at keeping everything on the lowdown, making it look polished and professional and all that sort of stuff. I imagine the lifestyles were quite different. So when Schumacher came in, he really changed the game in terms of fitness. He apart from his driving level was next level to everyone else. He completely changed the way F1 drivers prepared for a season, their training regimes. He really was the turning point. So my feeling is contemporary with his early career and before would probably have been a bit wilder than it is now. And there was no social media, so you could do what you wanted to do, couldn't you? So it was a different thing. And I'm sure, you know, I came into the media when a lot of that stuff was sort of slowing down and stopping in the media. But I'm sure the media in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s was still pretty wild as well. So if that traveling circus going around drivers, sponsors, media, I'm sure there's some pretty cool stuff that happened, or bad stuff, depending on your point of view.
And because we talk about how like you're catapulted into fame from nothing. Like an NFL player, they were in college and they were more famous maybe than when they were in the NFL. So it's like you're kind of used to that. And in high school, you're like the champion of the school. You're kind of moving along, and F1 drivers are not that way. So it's like, I wonder if that makes it worse or better. Like if you just, I don't know, you're like a young king that all of a sudden becomes king and you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I don't know. I imagine, can you imagine in like the 50s and 60s when people didn't really travel around Europe that much or around the world, except if you were super well. And then there's these like young racing drivers going around the world racing. Like you can only imagine what they all got up to. And they went to like South Africa and all these other random places that they went to. I'm sure there was a lot of stuff going on. Sterling Moss, who's a British, some people say the best Grand Prix driver never to be a world champion, basically. Amazing driver. So he won the Mille Miglia, which is this 1,000-mile race around Italy. He did 1,000 miles in just over 10 hours, and it's on public roads. So he averaged nearly 100 miles an hour on public roads that go through farms and villages. You know, he would be doing like 180, 190 through the countryside. Anyway, he did it in like just over 10 hours. And then afterwards, he finished the race, won the race, blah, 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 had the party. And then he drove. He either drove home to the UK or drove the car back to Germany. I can't remember which. And he was like, yeah, this, you know, the stuff they gave us, you could just stay up all night, all day. Like, you know, I think it was a very different time. Where you would just go, yeah, take this, you'll be able to stay up, no problem.
Gosh.
Yeah, different time, I think. So I imagine there's been some pretty wild stuff going on. Yeah, but now it just seems like
it's like the player. What was the pitcher in the MLB who he did a no-hitter on mushrooms or acid or something?
I think it was like maybe LSD or something.
Yeah. And you always wonder, it's like, you did that. Like, did something like that happen in F1? Like, you dropped a bit of Molly and won a race?
He wasn't supposed to play, I don't think, and he was a pitcher, so they don't usually travel. Like, they know they pitched whatever, and now they can't. And something happened. Someone got hurt, and they called him, I think, like the day of, and it was too late. And he's like, "Yeah, I'll go," and he went.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'm sure there was stuff going on in race. There had to be. You know, in Le Mans, the 24-hour race that I cover now, there was times when people did that on their own. You know, in the early days of Le Mans, they did it one driver per car. So there was no way they weren't on something.
Yeah, you have to be on amphetamines or something.
Yeah. I think all this stuff is I think a late 80s F1 documentary trying to get to the bottom of some of that stuff would be cool to find out what they're all about. But yeah, I guess the nature of driving cars at 200 mile an hour, they may be a little bit more cautious the day before a race or whatever.
Than throwing a ball 20, 50 feet. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
a little
maybe.
bit more.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Is that it for Pulp? Are we done?
That's it for Pulp, and now we just have the Temple of Speed P10.
Yeah, I was talking in the Temple of Speed. The only thing I heard, which was quite interesting, was Toto Wolff saying that next year's cars might be pushing 400 kilometers an hour down the straights, which is like 250 miles an hour. So, and Pirelli is saying it's been really hard to model the tires because they're getting different data from different teams, and they won't reveal it. But they're saying some of the simulations, there's like 30% less downforce on some teams' cars than other teams' cars and all this. So it could really be mixed up next year. There could be some big gaps. But yeah, 250 mile an hour down the straights would be pretty wild if that happens.
He did also say that would be all of your ERS gone. So like if you got up to that speed, all your energy in your car would be drained completely. So for the next like lap or two, you have nothing. You're going to get passed. Yeah, you might get ahead, but then you're going to be passed. But you could.
That's cool.
You do it once, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah,
take 5 cars down the straight.
Yeah, especially if it's like something like Monza, like, you know what I mean? That straight, you pass everyone, and then you have actually no, you can then pass someone on that after that first corner. It's a long straight. I don't know. That's why I love this track. I'm so excited. I have Monza socks I'm going to wear next weekend. I'm so pumped. It's my favorite track of the year.
Yep. Okay, Monza socks, Temple of Speed, like you said, mega track, Tifosi out in force, P10. What are we going for, Matt? You know, so why don't you just tell us who's going to be P10? I'm sure you'll be.
It's also last thing. It's also warm and dry, so it's going to be good weather, which I like for Monza. I want that to be high speed. What was I going to say? So I'm going to honestly, I'm going to go with Oscar because I'm sticking with Oscar, but I kind of want to take Norris here because kind of what I feel like now Oscar might be a little bit more hesitant. I think he'd rather not crash than get first because if he crashes and it gets out, that's way riskier than him. He's not going to fight as hard, I don't think, anymore, but he's first. And then P10, I'm going to go Lewis. P10.
Wow.
He's probably going to qualify 6th, go down to 11th, and then stick around there.
Sad times. Okay, Charlie?
I'm going to go Charles for the win. Who will get P10? I'm going to go with Behrman.
Good one.
P10.
It's so hard to predict now, isn't it? Because that midfield is so up and down. I was going to go Leclerc to win, just because Ferrari always seem to find something. But I'm going to go Max, actually, because the Red Bull is pretty good in high-speed corners. There's a couple of slowish chicanes, but everything's quite fast at Monza. So I'm going to go Max for a win. And P10, I'm going to go Antonelli, because he doesn't feel like he's going to get there. So yeah, I'm going to say Antonelli. So that's our P10. Monza should be hopefully awesome. It'll be a spectacle because it always is, and the cars again look proper fast and proper wild around there. So exciting times. We leave this episode with Oscar looking very much in control, but let's hope Lando can come back just to keep our own interest going. So let's remember, party mode is not just for Q3. It's a way of life. So until next time, keep it pinned.
See ya.
Bye, guys.